What's up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new episode of my podcast, Happy Days, with me, Callum Church. Today I want to talk about something which I've been seeing quite a lot of lately, and it's sad, it's unfortunate, and what I'm actually talking about here is a victim mindset. I see this everywhere, especially in the world which we live in today. I think a lot of people have grown up with this instant gratification, growing up in this Instagram, social media kind of world, the modern world. Growing up in this place, we're given so much instant gratification, i.e., want some food, order it, it'll be at your house in half an hour. You don't even have to lift a finger, really. Want to boost your ego, put a Photoshop picture up on Instagram and get all the gratification from that, or what want to be stimulated, go play some video games, or watch a movie from whatever streaming service it is. We're given so much stuff instantly, and as a result of that, we kind of grow up thinking that we're owed something or that we deserve something. And it's unfortunate, this, because the people that have a victim mindset, it's usually not really through their own fault, or for the most part anyways. I mean, it gets to a point where, it is your fault and you're slacking and you need to pick up the slack there. But, for the most part, these people are struggling in life because they're victims, and they're victims because of the way in which they've grown up, the beliefs that have been installed in them simply from their environment. But if you're listening to this podcast right now, this is your wake-up call. If you're not already thinking about these things right now, this is your wake-up call to snap yourself out of a victim mindset and go ahead and step into a better life for you. Your best life. Follow and listen to this episode and start thinking about this victim mindset and how we're going to change that. Tomorrow is the first day of your second life. It's the first day in which you are going to achieve, you are going to strive for greatness. You are not going to sit there and let things happen to you, or believe that things are simply happening to you. You are going to take everything, you're going to take it on, you're going to use it as your motivation, and things are going to happen for you, not to you. We've heard that all before, but I think it's a cliche because it's true. I think cliches are cliches because they're true, right? People say that life happens for you, not to you, because it does. It is true. Life does happen for you. That is why mindset is so important, because it's your whole perspective. I've spoken about perspective. I've spoken about mindset on this podcast before. You know how important mindset is to your life, because I bang on about it. I cannot, make it any clearer. I cannot talk about this enough. I'm trying so hard for you guys to find a new mindset, install a new mindset in your brain, and go ahead and get whatever it is from the world. I was talking to someone yesterday, and I was talking about the podcast, actually, about this podcast, and I was saying to them, like, why do I do the podcast? It's so that, I can hopefully impact people, right? I want people to live the lives that they want. I see so many, literally millions of people that are living lives that they don't like, whether that be in a job they hate, a relationship they don't like, a financial situation they don't like, they're hanging out with shitty friends, they're out of shape, they have poor mental health. People are living lives that suck, and yet they can't do anything about it because they don't have the tools. This podcast is giving people the tools to be able to go after the life that they want. That's what it's all about for me. So where was I going before I went on that little tangent? Yeah, I was speaking to someone yesterday about the podcast, and I was saying, like, look, I just want people to succeed, right? I want people to have success, whatever that success may be, because it's subjective, right? And when I talk in this podcast and I talk about success, I talk about it broadly, because success could be anything. Success could be, wealth. Success could be, i.e., monetary wealth. Success could be health. Success could be happiness. Success could be simply just overcoming your mental health struggles, or losing a bit of weight, or whatever that success is. It's totally subjective to everyone. But the one thing that is consistent throughout everyone's lives is that the mindset is what gets them to their own subjective individual ideas of what success is. Mindset is always there. It is the fundamental for success. Mindset is the fundamental for any kind of achievement. Mindset is simply what you set your mind on, right? And what your mind is set on, that manifests in life, right? I mean, getting into the law of attraction there a little bit. But look, mindset is everything. So think about this. If you have a victim mindset, where's that going to get you? Ultimately, think about where that's going to get you, because we know that whatever you set your mind on, that is where you're going to go in the future with time, right? So if your mind is set on, achieving success, being the best person possible, growing every single day, what's going to happen? You're going to be the best person possible. You're going to grow every day because that's what your mind is set on. That's what your mindset is. So what happens if you have a victim mindset? Well, a victim mindset is life happens to you. I haven't achieved because this happened to me. I'm not happy because this happened to me. I'm a victim. So if that's what your mind is set on, you've got to understand that you aren't going to get out of that. You will forever be a victim. You will forever be unhappy. You will forever not have that sense of success in your life or achievement because your mindset is all wrong. And yet there's so many people that are out there living these victim sort of lives with these victim mindsets. And ultimately, to be brutally honest with most of you, the people that have victim mindset, a lot of them aren't actually victims, not truly victims. It's a really beautiful world that we live in right now. We're incredibly lucky for the vast majority of the listeners which I have. The vast majority of my listeners are either from the US, Australia, or the UK. We're all living in, incredibly developed countries. We are all so lucky to be living in these countries where success is possible. Success is, arguably easy. I know that's a bit of a hot take, I suppose. But look, success is much easier to come by. In some ways, we're born into success, right? Just by being this lucky. And yet, even though we're given all these awesome things, a great economy to work in, food in your belly, running water, peace. I think that's kind of, I don't think we actually, think about these kinds of things because we've never had to experience the opposite, right? But peace is a wonderful thing to have in your country, right? Obviously, pointing out the obvious, Callum, but we don't think about these. We take it for granted so much. And yet we're living in this great country. We're living on this beautiful planet. We've got everything we need in order to be happy, and yet people aren't. And yet people think they're victims. We are not victims, man. If you're sat there thinking that you're a victim, you're not. It's just your mindset. And trust me, I was in this position a few years ago. I used to have a victim mindset, and I'm a vastly different person now. Why? Because I changed that mindset. I decided one day that I was going to switch that mindset up, and now I am nowhere near where I used to be. I'm no longer a victim. I'm a victor. I'm winning, And I put that all down to my mindset. I've grown a lot in the last few years. I really have. And sometimes you've got to take a minute to sit there and think about how far you've come, right? I do this a lot. You got to celebrate this stuff, right? It keeps you motivated, but it's just so important to think about where you've come and look at your journey. And I have come a long way in the last few years. I'm incredibly proud of that. And I want I want to bring people up with me, right? That's why I do this podcast, as I was saying earlier. So, yeah, I mean, if you've got a victim mindset right now, or your mindset's not quite right, you need to switch that quick, because that victim mindset is not going to take you anywhere, nowhere at all. Because what is a victim? Seriously, what is a victim? A victim is someone that has been wronged. Something's happened to them. An injustice has happened to them. But what injustices have happened to you in this life that you live in right now? I guarantee that there's probably more good than bad. Certainly if you look at it a certain way, from a certain perspective. But yet you choose the weak perspective. You choose the poor perspective. You choose the perspective in which you're acting like you're owed something, which is probably down to this whole idea of instant gratification, which I spoke about earlier. But you're not owed anything. You are not owed nothing. You've got to make what you have, right? And again, that touches into mindset. You've got to make it happen. You make that happen through your mindset. And you're undoing everything by adopting a victim mindset in the things that are happening to you. So, look, how can we change a mindset? It's quite easy, really. To change your mindset is quite easy. You've got to switch up your diet in some ways, and I'm not talking about food. I'm talking about your content diet, i.e., what you are consuming online. If you're listening to this podcast, I think that's a good idea already. I think you're on the right track. Consume more of this stuff and consume less of the rubbish, the bullshit, the fake, the unmotivating, Just get rid of all that stuff. You don't need that stuff. Chances are you don't need to be following the hundreds of people on social media whose lives ultimately you probably don't even care about, right? So start following people that lift you up, Think about your content diet. What else can you do? Surround yourself with positive people. Surround yourself with motivated people. Surround yourself with people that inspire you and, help you to be better. That's what it's all about. You got to think about this stuff. There's so many other ways to do it, but ultimately it all starts with one step, right? And that one step is just deciding to no longer be a victim. Deciding to switch up your mindset. Because that's what I did. My whole life changed in a day. And it was a very subtle change. Up here, in your mind. My mind was set on something new. My mind was set on something better. My mind was set on what I wanted, not what I wanted to stay away from. Right? It's what it's all about. So you really got to focus on your mindset. You really got to think about this stuff. It's easy. It all comes down to one decision ultimately, and then the rest will follow. If you decide that you want to be better, and then you start putting small bits of action in, as in listening to this podcast every Tuesday or Thursday, or listening to whoever else's podcast. I mean, look, other great podcasts are available, right? But, if you're listening to mine, thank you very much. Cheers, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate all of you. But yeah, by putting these small... It snowballs, right? Put these small actions in, then it snowballs because your mind is set. You're pushing the snowball in the right direction. You just need to wait until it picks up more snow, When you have a victim mindset, you're pushing the snowball the wrong way. You're not pushing it towards a snowman with a carrot in the hat and whatever. You're pushing it to, I don't know, the sea or something. What's a bad place for a snowman? Probably the sea, right? But you get what I'm saying, right? It's where you're going. It's your mindset. It's what your mind is set on. I'm set on building stuff. I want to build a sick-ass snowman. So, yeah. Everything changes when you change your mindset. If you can change your mindset, you can change your life. So, guys, honestly, this has been a short episode, but I just wanted to reinforce this message, really, because it's so important and underrated. And, yes, it's a simple episode, but it's a simple episode because it's a single powerful change, a single powerful, improvement which you can make in your life. It's not it's not hard to do. Well, it can be in certain cases, but it's not hard to decide you want to be better. But ultimately, it's the one fundamental to success, whatever that be in your life. So with that, that's all that I have for today's episode. I do truly hope that you did enjoy it. As always, if you did, please consider leaving a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts because it truly does help the show. Also, leave me your feedback. I love connecting with you guys. I genuinely mean that. I'd love for you guys to drop me a DM on Instagram. My Instagram handle's @callum.g.church. You can follow me on there. So again, I do truly hope you did enjoy the episode, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys. So there you go. That's the end of the show. If you enjoyed, make sure to subscribe on your podcasting app of choice so you can download and listen as each episode is released. If this episode helped you in any way, tell your friends, tell your family, maybe even leave a cheeky review on Apple Podcasts. It really helps the show. But that's all for now. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next episode, released shortly. Take care.